Hi, I'm Michael Wan. Thanks for watching us today. Do you remember Washington politics back in 2010? That's when Barack Obama's popularity was dropping. His first year was pretty popular, but not in his second year. And it's not just Obama that experienced this kind of sophomore slump. Historically, presidents in modern time didn't fare that well in their second year. And probably because of this sophomore slump, it also ends up giving a huge bump to the opposite party, having landslide wins in midterm elections. But something funny is happening with President Donald Trump. Trump's numbers are doing the exact opposite. Ever since the calendar turned to 2018, his poll numbers are steadily moving higher and higher. Probably the most accurate poll in the United States today might be the Rasmussen Daily Tracking Poll. And President Trump smashed the 50% barrier last week, landing in 51% approval rating on April 2nd of 2018. That is nine points up compared to last year at this point. Barack Obama on April 2nd of 2010 had only 47% of the country behind him, down from 57% the year before. If you think about it, it's just amazing. After all the negative press Trump has been getting, he somehow managed to break the 50% barrier. People who mainly get their daily dosage of news from the mainstream media would probably ask themselves, how is this even possible? You know why it's possible? It's the economy. It was the area where Obama did not deliver. Obama never hit 3% GDP growth during his 8-year term, which I consider is a failure, economically speaking. And that in itself is a record for a president not to hit 3% in every single year of his term. He did not, every other president, which means that every other president, at least in his term, hit 3% GDP growth. And Donald Trump, hit 3% right out of the gate. Real growth is running above 3%, and unemployment claims are the lowest since 1969. Wage growth is the best since 2009, and Americans are more optimistic than they have been since 2004. And let me tell you another groundbreaking fact. It means that the majority of people do not believe the mainstream media anymore. When they watch the MSM, they feel the hatred towards the president. And it also means that despite the negative portrayal from the media, many Americans actually think the president is doing the right thing, trying to bring this country on the right track. It also means that many agree with him on issues like immigration, gun rights, manufacturing, pulling out of Paris Accord, and TPP, and tax cut bill, Neil Gorsuch's confirmation to the Supreme Court, rollback of regulations, moving to repeal Obama's net neutrality rules, gutting Obamacare, and getting rid of ISIS. And the polling on the direction of the country indicates that Americans are more positive on what's going on in the United States than they have been since 2009. That is why the president has long called out media bias, and the public is beginning to agree with him. In a recent Gallup survey, nearly half the country thinks that there is a great deal of political bias in our 37% in 2012. And according to Monmouth poll, 77% of Americans believe that the mainstream media is spreading fake news. And Rasmussen poll finds that 52% of likely U.S. voters believe when most reporters write or talk about the president, they are trying to block him from passing his agenda. That's up from 44% a year ago. On immigration, the president, like most of the country, supports a path to legal status for the so-called dreamers, but also favors tightening our borders. Trump actually offered 1.8 million illegal immigrants, including DACA recipients, pathway to citizenship. And it was the Democrats who said no to this deal. The Democrats were not willing to take that deal because they are against getting rid of chain migration and the lottery system. Well, a huge majority of the country agrees with Trump on this issue too. A Harvard-Harris poll conducted earlier this year found that 79% of Americans favor a secure border and nearly 70% oppose the diversity lottery system. Trump wants a merit-based immigration, like Canada, and according to Rasmussen, 80% of the country prefer merit-based immigration over chain migration. So the people agree with Trump. But the media doesn't want to report this. because it doesn't fit their secular progressive narrative. They would rather protect criminal illegal immigrants rather than protect law-abiding citizens here. I mean, they don't even use the word illegal. They just call them immigrants. Just by this, we can know how lawless the media and the Democrats have become. Why are the Democrats and the media representing people who are not even supposed to be here? Why do they put illegal immigrants over American citizens? And Americans also like Trump's tough stance on China. Pew Research reports that Americans' view of China has deteriorated in recent years. Now, more than half the country have an unfavorable view of China, probably because they feel that trade with China is a one-sided deal. As of last year, 65% said that China is either an adversary or a serious problem. So I'll tell you the truth. Many Americans agree with Trump on many issues, even though the media is trying to portray otherwise. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.